Welcome, everybody. This is our 1230 70s class, and we always have fun in this class. We're going to do Mandy today by Barry Manilow, and I'm going to give you lots and lots of extra things. And it's all extra stuff, but if you learn one new extra thing, you are going to be 100% successful. So push yourself as far as you want to be pushed today. All right. Originally, the song was not named Mandy. Originally, this song was named Brandy, and it was not written by Barry Manilow, believe it or not. And he wrote an awful lot of music, but this is not one of them. It was written by Scott English and Richard Carr, originally recorded by Scott English in 1971, and they were British, so it did reach number 20 in the UK. Brandy was then recorded by a New Zealand singer, Bunny Walters, in 1972, but it actually got the greatest success when it was released in the United States in 1974 by Barry Manilow. The title was changed to Mandy to avoid confusion with another song that was named Brandy. Do you remember that one? Brandy, you're a fine girl. What a good wife you would be. By the group called Looking Glass. They already had a song called Brandy. So, in order to not get confused, they switched the title on this one to Mandy. The song was Barry Manilow's first number one hit on the Billboard Hot 100. I did not know that. This was his first hit? Very cool. And it was also his first gold single. Yep, I remember when it came out. Yep, it was on the radio all the time. All right, now it is in song setup, and I think it comes up Love Ballad at 80. That's not how we're going to play it today. I'm going to play it a little bit more, some of the stuff that I heard and some of the stuff that I made up so we can make it a little bit cooler. Um,
Dawn, I'm sorry to
yes,
interrupt you. I
go
do
ahead.
not have Mandy in song setup, so I don't
Well,
know
it's all
why.
right. We're not going to do song setup. I'm going to give you all
Okay,
this good stuff.
okay,
I
okay,
didn't I didn't care for song setup in this organ either, so um, that's fine. We're going to
okay,
do our own today. I'm
okay.
actually using, I'll tell you where I start. I'm using contempo folk style, or if you guys are in Inspires, Rialto's, Marquis, Grand Marquis, and Arias, it's called basic folk. Basic folk. And then I'm taking stuff off and turning stuff on and doing alter styles and, adding different presets and sounds. And so what I want you to do is listen for the changes. And I also want you to try and figure out the roadmap as we go, because that'll be the second thing we do is the roadmap. So I'm going to play it first, and then we'll go from there. So just kind of take notes and see if you can figure out what I actually did. I'm going to start with an intro. Okay, did you like it?
Yes.
Yes, it was very nice.
Okay, all right. I'm not all
Oh,
that
I
crazy
heard a
about some
little,
of the stuff I did. Like I said, I could probably spend another 3 hours on it and tweak things and get levels and stuff better. So a lot of the transitions would be smoother. Now, the first thing you did notice is that I never touched any of these. So how was I moving my presets?
your
Remember-
foot.
Your
With my
foot.
foot, absolutely. I set it up. I went to number 3. I just set it up on next preset on my right kick switch so that every time I got to a spot, because my fingers never stop moving. They don't in this song. And so you don't have time. So your foot then just kicks to the next preset. I did do a lot of up and down stuff. So you got to mark U's and L's where you go to the upper or lower keyboard. All right, but I've got all that here. I hope you took some notes and figured out what I was doing. The first thing we're going to do is the roadmap. Did anybody get confused with me playing it? Did you find where we were going?
A little bit.
Yes, it was
A little
easy.
bit. Dave's
I got
No.
lost.
no.
I
Hal's,
was so lost.
Hal's going no.
Oh, I was so
Okay.
lost.
Yeah,
It
this
was,
one's
it
a
was
little
quick,
tricky.
but it went
And I
back
will
and
tell
forth.
you,
Got a
if
lot
you
of
make
back and
that
forth.
copy of the first page and
Yeah.
tape it so that it's a lot easier to go back and
Okay.
forth. Otherwise, we're going to be switching pages and it's going to be a pain. All right, so let's start with, first of all, I did the intro. Now you're going to do verse 1. I remember all my life. And then line 3, you have that first ending. Okay? It's the entire line 3. And at the end of line 3, you have your dots.
Right.
Crying in the night. The night goes into, where are you going back to?
Beginning.
First line.
So you're going
Second
back to
Morning
morning's just
shift.
another day. So you want to go, I did pink, and you want to put your pink line in between the 4/4 and your first note. All right, now we're going to do verse 2. All right. Morning's just another day. Happy people pass my way, looking in their eyes, I. Okay, now the entire third line is the first ending, so you don't want to go there. So we're going to put a little colorful 2 at the end of the second line, and you're going to trace the 2. Uh-oh, it says 2, 3. Ah, okay. So you're going to trace the 2 and the 2. And now the second time, you're going to go, I see a memory. I never realized how happy you made me, oh Mandy. So now we're on the next page.
Mhm.
You came and you gave without taking. It sent you away, oh Mandy. Now that where it says chorus, the chorus actually, that's a misprint. The chorus actually starts up here where your silly sign is, oh Mandy. That's where your chorus actually starts. So don't let that confuse you. That's a misprint. That chorus, you should just white that out, and you can actually write it right up here where your silly sign is. But we're not to the silly sign yet, so don't worry. Okay. Well, you kissed me and stopped me from shaking, and I need you today. Uh-oh, another first ending. Mm-hmm. Yep. And the first ending is actually the end of line 4 and the first measure of line 5. And then you have 2 more dots. Okay?
Mhm.
Where are those 2 dots sending you?
The beginning.
Back to the
Yeah.
beginning.
Yeah, that's what makes this so confusing. This is a tricky roadmap. So I'm looking for these dots going facing forward, and there aren't any. So it goes back to the beginning for verse 3. So now I'm going to have 2 colors at the beginning. So verse 3 is now, I'm standing on the edge of time, right? Okay.
Correct.
Standing on the edge of time, I've walked away when love was mine, caught up in a world of. Okay, now where are we going?
The last line.
Farming.
Yes, the third
Up.
ending, same as the second ending. So if you wanted to put a little colorful 3 right underneath the 2, and then put that same colorful 3 in the same spot as you had the 2. So the second time you go down there and the third time you go down there to the beginning of line 4. Of uphill climbing, The tears are in my mind, and nothing is rhyming, oh Mandy. Well, you came and you gave without taking. I sent you away, oh Mandy. Well, you kissed me and stopped me from shaking, and I need you today. Guess what? We already played the first ending. So now we have to go to the second ending. So you're going to take another color. Oh, let's take, I haven't used blue on this page. It's the same place where that 2 coda is, but we haven't had anything tell us to go to the coda yet. So right before the first ending, you're going to put a colorful 2, and that's going to come down to the last line, oh, Mandy.
Mhm.
Okay, got it?
Mhm.
Yes.
All right. Now I put a 4-measure interlude where you have a whole rest. I'm putting in a 4-measure interlude. Now you can skip it. You can skip that and just do a fill in and continue. But that interlude, it's like a 4 or 5 measure interlude in there. I guess it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's actually a 6-measure interlude. Okay, whatever. And
I'm
then
sorry,
we're going
Dawn,
to do
where do you put that?
You're going to put that right where that rest is, right where that whole rest is.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Okay. I just put 4 measures. It's a 6-measure interlude. Just put interlude, and then I've got that down here because I don't have any more room. So I just put that right here so I could see it, and that worked out pretty well actually. And then you're going to go. Yesterday's a dream. I face the morning, crying on a breeze. The pain is calling. Uh-oh! Now I got 2 lines. I need another color. 2 lines, and now some instructions. In the middle of line 2, you have a DS al coda. Where are you going back to?
Silly
sign. Silly sign.
Silly signs at the top of 190. So make that a color. Use the same color for your silly sign. Now what are we looking for?
The
2
coda.
coda.
Yes, now we're looking for the 2 coda. Remember, you never go backwards to a coda. Codas only send you forwards. So remember that. So now we're going to do, oh, Mandy, you came and you gave without taking. I sent you away, oh, Mandy, you kissed me and stopped me from shaking. And I need you today, oh. Now there's the 2 coda. So now you're going to skip over to here. And if you're using all different colors, your eyes will follow the colors. Codas always send you forward. We're not done yet.
Not done yet.
Now you're going to play the coda, and at the end of the coda, what does it say?
Repeat and
Repeat.
fade.
Fade. Yeah, repeat and fade. And I actually changed that the last measure when they're doing "Need You Today, Oh Mandy." He actually goes, "And I need you." He's actually doing 2 whole notes there, or 2 half notes there. So I'm putting that in, and then I go back and repeat. But you can do whatever you want. You can just play it as it is, and then just play to here, go back up to the coda, repeat it, and fade out. And hit your fade out button. If you don't have a fade out button, pull back on your foot, and you're good. Remember, 1970 songs, a lot of times, were fade outs because that was album rock type of radio. On the radio, they would just fade out one song, fade another song in, and then they didn't have any commercials, which was actually kind of cool. Yeah.
On that last measure, do you, is that instructions gonna be that you're having, or do we need to make a note on those notes you changed?
The notes I changed, you got to just make a note on that. And actually what I'm doing is, the first time I played it, because, yeah, you've been playing it a long time now. I played it the first time, and instead of doing and then going back, I did this. And I need you. And need is just going to be like that first F, but you're going to make it a half note. I need you. You're going to go up to the G, which is the first space above the staff. Need is going to be for a half the measure. And then you is going to be, instead of where that D is, you're going to put a G on top of that.
So,
That's another
Dawn,
half note.
are you putting you're not doing those quarter, eighth notes there.
No,
You're
nope.
You're gonna, above the F, you would do a half note.
You're going to do and make that F a half note. Get rid of the E, F, E.
Oh. And then you do a half note, and what's the half note?
The half note at the end of the measure is a G.
G.
A
Okay,
G, and it's the first space above the staff, and you're not going to play
Right.
the D and the E. And the G chord is good for the first half, and then you're going to put a C chord over that G note.
the G is a half note, and then what do you do for the other half note? It's a,
That's an F. The first one is an F. The second note is a G.
oh, it's F and G.
F and G are your two notes. Your
Your two half-
chords are going to be G and C above those notes.
Okay,
Okay?
so it's F and G and with a C chord?
The G is with the C chord. Then
Did
then
you
you
play the A,
then
Daun?
you can go back and play and fade out.
Could you play that again?
Sure. Sure. I'm going to start at line 4. Mandy, well, you. Okay? Oops, where am I here? I already faded out. Last line.
Oh, okay.
You didn't
So-
play that, Dawn, huh?
Pardon?
You didn't play that D in the last measure?
I just played an F in the last measure, an F and a G. And I
F
need
and a G with- F and a G with a C chord.
uh-huh.
Right, but no D.
And that's just in that last measure. And then you're going to go back up and
On
Just
line
repeat.
2.
just go back and repeat.
So you go back to line 2 and repeat and fade out.
Yep, and just fade out. Yep.
Yep.
And then it's a little more authentic. If you listen to Barry Manilow singing it, that's how he ends it.
Right.
Is he needs you, and then it just kind of keeps going musically and fades out. Now, if you don't want to do that, don't worry about it. Just play it the way it is and fade it out. You'll be fine.
Yeah, it's fun to go crazy.
It is fun to go crazy.
Dawn, take me
Yeah.
back. What style setup did you use?
I used folk style, contempo folk style. I started with that and then just built on it. So that's what I started with.
Okay,
I actually took a lot of stuff away, and I've got all your stuff is going to be here, and you can see all the stuff I had to do for that very first one, and then I just
Yeah.
added a few other
Okay.
things. And each time, each preset, you're just going to learn where something else is on the organ. And I'm doing things
Okay.
over here. I'm doing things over here. I changed sounds. I changed harmonies. I also changed volumes in my graphic mixer. Okay. And I
Yeah.
also did a transpose. Now, the transpose was not super noticeable, but did anybody catch where I did the transpose?
No. Oda,
No? Okay. I transposed right before I went to the coda.
right, in the coda.
The coda, the entire coda was transposed up to. Why? Because that's the way the original is. So I'm telling you to transpose up to D and then save that preset. So if you're going from, let me just go from 6 to 7. I'm going to start where it says chorus. That's not the chorus, but where it says chorus, line 3 of page 190. Wait a minute, I'm on the wrong. No, I'm good. Okay. Okay, did you hear it?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's kind of a subtle transpose because I'm not doing a big drum fill and, I'm getting you ready for the transpose. It just happens. It just happens because you've got one note to the next. I'm actually changing it before the word O or right on the word O. Or you could have changed it right here at the coda. It doesn't matter because all you're going to do is kick right in there. If you're singing the lyrics in your head, and I need you today, kick it, oh Mandy. So yeah, this will be a little bit of a challenge, and some of you might be up for it, and some of you might not. And guess what? That's okay. But it will help you to go, all right, how did she do this? Where's my harmony? How was that changed? And then I also did a lot of uppers and lowers.
I do understand there's a lot of ways of doing this. One of the ways we did in another class a couple of years ago, I write the song setup.
That works too. I use that. I did use
Yes.
that as well. So yeah, I write the songs. I've actually got that written right here. Write the songs is good. Love ballad is good. Smooth piano 4/4 is good. The soliloquy with the alter style also worked. Guitars 4/4 and heart songs for those of you with the pianist and the guitarist backgrounds. Those
Okay.
were also very nice. And basically, I just said, you know what? Instead of just playing it 100 different ways and 100 different backgrounds, I'm going to do an arrangement so that you guys can. I'm just going to pick one, and it might not be the best one, but it's just to get you guys looking at your instruments. And
Thank you.
that's learning your instrument is just as important as learning the music. It really is. Now, if you don't feel like doing it, don't worry about it. Just, if you don't like the song, don't worry about it. Pick a background and go. If you learned where the roadmap is, you are 100% successful today. That's a wonderful thing. All right, now, did I add some chords? Yes, and it's the same thing. You don't need any of the chords that I'm about to add, but if you want to push yourself, if you learn one new chord, you are 100% successful. So get your pencils out. The very first C, make it a C add 9, A-D-D 9. It's a 3-fingered chord. It's real easy. It's C, D, and E. Chickens, dinosaurs, and elephants all at the same time. Just those, all 3 of those. Why is that different from a regular C? Here's a regular C. A 9 is an add 9 is very subtle. Very subtle. So if you don't feel like learning it, just play C. It'll be fine. Okay, that's good for one measure. Second measure, over the word life. Put a C, major 7. Major 7 is 2 keys, C and B, chickens and butterflies. Okay. And you can play the C and B wide, or you can play it, I won't look. If you play it back here, I won't look at all, I promise. Sometimes it can go out of your box, especially when we're learning all these extra chords, and it's going to be fine. Line 2, first measure, first beat, over the G for raining. Do a C, add 9, same thing. All right, I'm going to hit mute all because we're starting to get some microphone stuff. Second measure, over the G for
You're
ice.
frozen.
Oh no.
You're frozen.
Oh no. Oh great. Oh, come on.
Not
No,
for me. No.
you're
No, I'm okay.
Yeah.
You're not frozen,
Oh,
no.
thank
Oh,
you.
you're fine.
Okay.
No, you're not frozen.
Okay, thank you. Somebody else is having problems then. Okay, I'm
Somebody
gonna hit mute all, and let's go on because we got a lot of stuff. Line 1, measure 2 is a C major 7, C and B, or B and C, for 2 counts. In
Wait.
the middle of the measure, beat 3, go back to a C, add 9. C, D, and E. So it just gives it a little bit of movement is all it does.
Pretty.
That's all it does is it gives it a little bit of movement.
Dawn,
Dawn.
can you say that again?
Yeah, you said the first line, I think you meant the second line.
I'm on line 2.
Yeah. Said the
Line
first line,
2, first measure.
yeah.
Over the word raining, you're going to put a C, add 9.
Yeah.
Line 2, second measure. You're going to put a C major 7, C and B for 2 counts. Beat 3, go back to the C, add 9.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. Yep, we got distracted. The D minor, if you wish, you can make it a D minor, add 9. Now that's another 3-fingered chord, D, E, F. And it'll say in your window, D minor, add 9. So make sure you check in your window. It's D, E, F, 3 white notes in a row. That's good for 2 counts. Beat 3 over the D quarter, dotted quarter note for the word man. Just put a plain old D minor. First ending. Okay, let's go back to the mute. First ending. Instead of the F, cross out the F and make it a D minor 7. Which would be C, D, and F. The B flat, make it a B flat major 7, which would be A and B flat. Remember, it's just always the letter -1 right next door. Then you have a G7. This is also where you want to put, at the end of the first ending, put A, 2L. You're going to go to preset A2 lower. A2L. Put it right there at the end of that first ending so that you kick it before you get there.
Dawn, excuse me, on the first F there in the third line, what did you make that?
It's a D minor 7. Dinosaur minor 7.
Thank you.
Dawn,
Dawn.
Yes?
in 10 words or less, could you, I don't want to bother you, could you explain A to L?
A2L? Yeah, you're
Yeah.
just going to put A2L. That means you're going to do whatever the A2 was here, lower keyboard.
Oh, Lord.
That's all that is. Yep.
Oh,
You're just doing a preset, and you might want to put that in a triangle
yeah, I get it.
because
Yeah.
that's your preset. Yeah,
Right.
you're starting out with A1 on the upper, A1U, A2L. You're going to the lower.
Dawn,
Yes.
I don't know whether it was first line or second line, but in the first line, over the last G, you have a C major 7, right? And then you had a C add 9 also in that same measure?
No, nope. That's only in line 2.
The second line, okay.
Yeah, that's
Great.
only in line 2. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
You're good. You're good. All right, let's go to the second ending, line 4. You want to put a D minor 7 at the beginning. If you want, you can make it a D minor 9, but that's a 4-fingered chord. D minor 9 is no. That one. No. That one. Yeah. D minor 9 is a 4-fingered chord. C, D, E, and F. C, D, E, and F. Or just make it a D minor 7.
Yeah.
And that's at the beginning of the second and third ending. All right. The B flat, the last chord on that page, is a B flat major 7, A and B flat. Let's turn the page. Line
Close.
2, first line, no changes. Woohoo! Second line, third measure. Over the word sent, put a G7.
What?
G7, Gorilla 7.
Over?
Over the word sent. Second
Oh.
line, third measure, first beat.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Third line. Make that C a C, add 9. C, D, E.
Dawn, I'm sorry, I just had a brain fart. What did you say?
C,
I
add
see.
9. C, A, D, D, 9. Three
Where's that?
letters. Chickens, dinosaurs, and elephants. C, D, E, right in a
Where?
row.
Where did you put it?
Right, line 3, first measure, right where that C is. We're going to make it an add 9.
Okay, thanks.
You got it. Line 4, second measure, over the F for the word need. Make that G a G7. You're already on G, just make it a G7. Oops, I forgot to tell you some more changes. That's of presets. That's right. We'll go back and do all the presets again. Let's just do chords. First ending. You can add a bunch of chords, but you know what? I'm just going to have you do a fill-in instead of that. Just stay on C. Let's do a fill-in. Let's go to second ending. Last measure on the page. D minor, make it a D minor, add 9. A-D-D 9, and it's D, E, F, 3 white notes in a row. It'll tell you in the window. Top of the page, over the F for the word face, it's still going to be a D minor, but make it a D minor 7. C, D, F. It just gives it a little bit of movement. That's all it does, gives it a little bit of subtle movement.
Where
Top
was that?
line, that's a very top line first measure, first beat. D minor 7. Top line second measure, make that B flat a B flat major 7. A and B flat. Second line, make the G a G7. Coda, the only changes are what I already told you, that very, very, very last measure where you're going to have a G chord over an F note and a C chord over a G note. Need you. That's the only changes. So that's it. And don't worry, if you don't do any of the add 9s, don't worry about them. Don't worry about them.
Ju-
Questions?
That last thing you just said, on the last page, second line, the G is first measure, G is a G7, and then you
Yes. Then the coda is all the way good, except for the very last measure that we already talked about.
oh yeah, there you said you can drag it out and put an F and a G and a C chord.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
Yep. All right, now let's do the changes. We already did the 1 in there, and changes usually Marco likes to put them in triangles because you know what they are. A1 upper starts at the beginning of the song. Line 1, line 2, line 3. At the end of the first ending, we already talked about it. A2L. That means you're going to go to the second preset, lower keyboard. And if you notice, I added the bass in that one too, but that's all written here. I'll play it again so that you can get an idea of, I took out the bass, I lowered the drum volume, I added the drum volume, I added a bass, went to upper and lower keyboard. All right, let's go to the second page, page 190, right where the silly sign is. You want A3L, because you want to stay on the lower keyboard. A3L, right where that silly sign is. Let's go down. First ending. At the end of the first ending, you want A4U. And you want to do it right there at the end of that first ending so that when you go all the way back, you've already kicked it. A4U, upper. A4U. And then you go back and play that third and I had it on a guitar. Then the third time you're going to the third ending, and what did I do there? Did I do something different? Yes. Now you want A5U. Same place as you have, it's going to be in the same place as you have A3L. You're going to put A5U. Same place. So the first time you're going to change it to A3L. The second time you're going to change it to A5U, upper keyboard. Now you're going to play. When we get down to the second ending, there's that measure where you have that whole rest. If you're going to play the interlude, you're going to go to A5L. You're still on A5. You just want to make sure you put an L so you start playing on that lower keyboard, which gave me some horns. And if I, truth be told, if I were going to do this again, I would make all my volumes on those horns a little bit less because it's just an interlude. It comes out a little bit too loud in this version. And then where it comes back in, Yesterday's a Dream, now you want to put A5U, or you just might want to put a U because you're already on A5. So that just tells you I'm going to the lower keyboard for the interlude, then I'm going to go back to the upper keyboard for Yesterday's a Dream. Every time you have a triangle, you might not be kicking it. You might just be moving from one hand to another. Let's go to the third page, second line where it says DS Al Coda. You want to put A6. And it's A6U. It's an upper. And then your coda, you're going to put A7U. And again, you don't have to do all these changes if you don't feel like it. You can do several different things. You know, you can make your own presets. But what it does is it gets you to find where these things are. I know Connie calls me a lot and says, okay, where do I find this on my organ? And that's good. I'm glad she does that. Because then I feel like, okay, people are actually doing this.
Dawn, where did you put A5L?
A5L is right where in that measure, that whole rest where I had you write in interlude.
Okay,
You're gonna
where
play
on the
your-
page is that?
Yeah, you're
I've
going to play your interlude on the lower keyboard. This
Is
crazy
that on page 2?
That's on page 2, correct. Bottom
Yeah.
of page 2,
Last
second
line.
ending, right in the middle of the page there, you have that whole rest. That entire
Okay.
rest, we're going to take out and put in 6 measures of interlude. Or not. If you decide not to do that, then you don't go to the lower keyboard. Then you just stay on the upper keyboard and keep playing.
That's on the third line.
No, that's on the 5th line. All the way, that's the last
Oh.
line on that page.
In that first ending.
Then the second ending. Second
Okay.
ending. Second page, second ending. There's a whole rest, which is that
Got it.
rectangle upside down, then the rectangle that's hanging from that 4th line. I'm going to take that whole measure and turn it into an interlude of 6 measures.
You said 4.
I know, it's actually 6, doesn't matter. You're going to just put some more stuff in there.
Okay.
When I counted it, when I was, it was like, well, it's about 4 measures. Okay, so I wrote it in as 4. When I actually wrote it out, it was 6. So, that doesn't matter. You're putting in a whole nother section. Or not, and if you don't do that, then you don't go to the lower. You just stay on the upper keyboard. And that's fine too. Okay, so now you know where all the changes are. So now I'm going to play it again, and I want you to listen for the changes. And don't worry about what I'm actually doing, but just the fact that, yes, that's where she's making a change. And you will have this, so you will know exactly what I did, and it'll just give you a chance to Okay, let me push some buttons. All right, so here we
Don?
go again. Yeah,
Where did you put A2U?
A2U. I don't think I have an A2U. I think I was just on A2L. A1U is at the beginning.
Yeah, the next one after that, where A2U, is that what it is?
No, no A2U. It's only A2L.
Third, yeah, third line.
End of the first ending.
Correct. Right.
Looks like we lost Dawn.
On, yeah, we'll talk about her again.
You know.
Dawn, how are you?
She's put a lot of work into this song.
Yes, she did.
Back.
This is
Oh,
a
Are
great.
you back?
I'm back.
Okay.
Hey!
Yeah.
Hey,
Yay, that was a short one. I turned
Up.
around and I had no screen. I'm like, what the heck? Wow. Yeah, technology is crazy. Okay, here we go. I'm going to play the intro. Very few drums and no bass. And I've got just a piano. Bass came in, lower keyboard. Second ending. Bigger drums. Okay, now I'm gonna go to C for U, or A for U, I'm sorry. Duet. Second ending. Go to the bottom. Interlude. Now go back up to the upper keyboard. Back to the silly sign. Transpose. Fade out.
Great job.
No, fade out. Fade out. Okay, so I tried to call out where I was changing things.
Yeah, you
Good.
did good.
Okay, so yeah, it's interesting song. And yeah, the roadmap is a killer. It is a killer.
Yeah,
If
it
that's the
is.
only thing you learned today, you're good. You're good. Okay, I do have fingering for you if you want it. If not, no worries. It's a great song. I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you come up with even something better than what I did. I know some of you will. Next
yeah.
week, we'll do Paul McCartney. Maybe I'm amazed. Yeah, cool. It's another long song, but that's okay. I've never done that one before. It should be kind of fun. All right.
Thank
So-
you.
Thank
All
you
right.
guys. You're awesome. Yep. If you need
Bye-bye.
fingering, pencils out. Okay, here we go. G1, A2, C3, A2, E5, G1, G1. Second line, G1, A2, C3, A2, E5, G1, G1. F4, E3, E3, D2, D2, A1. First ending, F4, E3, F4, E3, D2, F4, E3, 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 D2, G1, high F4. There's a reason why we're doing fours, because now we have to go up to a G5. E3, D2. Let's go down to the second and third endings. F4, E3, E3, D2, A1, F4, G5, F4, E3, D2, G1. Top of the second page. F4, E3, D2, F4, G5, E3, D2, C1, check mark. Low G1, high E5. Second line, D4, C3, E5. D4, C3, E5, D4. Now I added two more notes in between the D and the G here. I added a B on the middle line and an A on the second space. So if you wanted to do that little run, it's D4, B that we just wrote in as a 3, the A that you just wrote in is a 2, and the G is a 1. Otherwise, just play 4 and 1. But I like it better with the little run.
What were
Makes it a
the,
little,
what were
makes it a
the,
little more authentic.
what did you put for the numbers for the B and the A?
3 and 2.
3 and 2, okay.
Mhm. Okay, but I sent you away as G1, G1, high F5, E4, F5, E4, D3, E4, third line D3, C2. Low G1, high E5, D4, C3, E5. D4, C3, E5, D4, B3, and I did put a little A in between the B and the G and made it a 2, or not, you can skip it if you want, and then the G is a 1. And I need you today, G1, G1, F5, E4, F5, E4, D3, E4, D3, C2. Next line, the pickup note in the first measure is a G1. second ending D3, C2. Then you have your interlude. Let's go on to Yesterday's a Dream, F4, E3, E3, D2, D2, A1, F4, E3, E3, D2, A1, F4, G5, F4, E3, D2, low G1. Second line, F4, E3, D2, F4, G5, E3. Let's go to the coda. D3, C2, G1, E4. Third line, D3, C2, E4, D3, C2, E4, D3, G1, 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 F5, E4, F5, E4, D3, E4. Next line, D3, C2, G1, E4, D3, C2, C2, D3, C2, C2, D3, D3, G1, G1. The F that we wrote in is a 4. The G that we wrote in is a 5. And that's it.
Okay, got it.
All right.
This ought to be a little work.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Now, yeah, if your song setup brings it up to 70s love song or to love ballad, those are also going to work for this. So no worries. There's lots and lots of other choices we could have made. So these are not the only choices. And the reason I upped it to 103 is because I think the original was like 106, 108. And I thought, wow, I don't think I want to go quite that fast. So I lowered it a couple points.
You said you could use I Write the Song, Smooth Piano, Guitar 4/4 with Heart Song, and what was the other one? There was one more.
Guitar 4/4, heart songs, love ballad, soliloquy.
Okay,
Yep. I use the alter style on soliloquy. I'm sure you can come up with 8 or 10 more. This is just one of those songs that just fun to play and lots of different possibilities. And again, this is not the world's greatest arrangement, but it is something to get you pushing the buttons. And the more you understand what your organ can do for you, the more fun you're going to have, guaranteed.
yeah.
Yeah, guaranteed. So do not be afraid to push buttons and change things. Saving presets is easy. If you have never done it before, get with your personal assistant. If you don't have a personal assistant, call me. And we'll do it over the phone, or we can do it over Zoom at the end of a class sometime too, not a problem. Okay?
Yep.
All right, very cool. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Warm.
I
Still
have one
kind of,
que- I have one
Go
question.
ahead. Go ahead, David.
Did I see in the menu of classes that there's someone else doing a Black Lowry songbook out of Tampa, maybe? I found it when I came into your class because it was still running and it was at 11:30.
He may have added something. Yeah, I know we were asked to put in more Zoom classes, more online classes. Well, guess what? I've already got enough. So hopefully,
Do what you do.
yeah, no, hopefully some of the other teachers, like Joe, like Joni, I know Carrie already does as many classes as I do. He's just not Zooming with them. So he might be broadcasting more of his classes. And there might be other classes coming on, so look for those. Absolutely. I don't want to lose any of you. I love all of you coming to my classes. That's fine. But we don't get credit for you guys coming to class. So it's not about that at all. You can learn from all of our Fletcher teachers. We have a lot of fabulous talent in this company. So, catch
Yeah.
as many of them as you can. And you're going to have difference of opinions because, yeah, I play different from Joe Fontesha. We come from different backgrounds. Sean has a whole different way of talking about things. And so if you connect with one of them or you learn one thing from each one of us, then you're doing great because that's what it's about.
I see
I just
Robert
thought I'm doing a
class.
black songbook.
I don't know. I don't know who else is doing that.
Robert started class on Thursdays. Robert.
Robert wants to do more variety classes. He wants to throw more of those in. Yeah. So that would be good. Because anytime you can learn from another teacher, absolutely take advantage of your lifetime free lessons. And Zoom is the best way for you. You don't have to drive anywhere.
That,
Plug in your computer and hope it works the whole time.
We just have to get home in time to get to class.
Yeah, sometimes that's true.
But sometimes I put you in the car and take you with me.
Oh, okay. No, I haven't checked out any of the new schedules. I have not had time to check to see what other teachers are doing, but we have been asked to do more online classes. So that means some of the other teachers will be stepping up and doing some more stuff online. And that's a good thing because you're probably getting bored with me. So
No,
Oh,
yeah.
Not at all.
but I'm not going anywhere. I'm just not adding anymore.
Oh, I know.
All right. Well, you guys are absolutely awesome, and I love you all, and thank you so much for coming. I can't do it without you. So thank you.
Thank you, Dawn. We appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys too. So if you have any questions, email me, phone me, write a letter, whatever you want to do. We'll see you later. Bye.
Thank you.